It was supposed to be a fun camping trip, a chance to escape the stress of the city and reconnect with nature. But as soon as they entered the forest, something felt off. The trees seemed to loom taller, the shadows deeper, and a sense of unease settled over the group. Despite their misgivings, they pushed on, setting up camp and building a fire. They laughed and joked, trying to dispel the feeling that they were being watched. But as the night wore on, strange noises echoed through the trees, and they couldn't shake the feeling that something was lurking just beyond the glow of the fire. As they settled down to sleep, the rustling of leaves outside their tents kept them awake. And then, in the middle of the night, they heard it, a blood-curdling scream that pierced the silence. Trembling with fear, they emerged from their tents to find one of their friends missing. A frantic search ensued, but there was no sign of him. As they searched, they realized that they were not alone. Something was moving through the forest, hunting them, picking them off one by one. They tried to run, but the forest seemed to shift and change around them, leading them in circles. And then they saw it, a figure standing just beyond the trees, its eyes glowing in the darkness. It was then that they knew they had stumbled into a haunted forest, a place where the spirits of the dead lingered, seeking revenge for the desecration of their home. They had disturbed something ancient and malevolent, and it was hungry for their souls. In the end, only one of them made it out alive, stumbling out of the forest in the early hours of the morning, screaming about the horrors he had seen. The others were never found, lost to the haunted forest forever. And so the legend of the haunted forest continued, a warning to all who would dare to enter its dark embrace. For those who entered its boundaries, there was no escaping the terror that awaited them, for the forest was alive with the spirits of the dead, hungry for revenge. The creepy carnival had arrived in town, and everyone was excited to see the colorful tents and thrilling rides. But as soon as the sun went down, strange things began to happen. The rides creaked and groaned as they came to life, and the clowns seemed to have a sinister glint in their eyes. A group of friends, Jake, Lily, and Mark, decided to explore the carnival after dark, despite warnings from the townsfolk. As they walked through the deserted carnival grounds, they heard the sound of distant laughter and giggling. They followed the sound to a large tent, where a clown with a painted-on grin greeted them. "Welcome to my carnival," the clown said, his voice deep and menacing. "You won't be leaving anytime soon." The friends tried to leave, but the clown summoned other clowns to block their path. Suddenly, they found themselves trapped in the carnival, unable to leave. As they walked around the carnival, they noticed that some of the rides were different from before. The Ferris wheel had changed to a towering machine with sharp spikes instead of seats, and the roller coaster had turned into a twisting, winding maze that seemed to have no end. They soon realized that they were not alone in the carnival. Strange, otherworldly creatures lurked in the shadows, their eyes glowing in the darkness. The friends realized that they were in grave danger and tried to find a way out. As they searched for an escape, they stumbled upon an old, dilapidated mirror maze. They cautiously entered the maze, only to find that it was a labyrinth of mirrors. reflecting an infinite number of images. As they turned a corner, they saw their reflections morphing into grotesque, distorted versions of themselves. The mirror images had sharp claws and razor-sharp teeth, and they began to lunge out of the mirrors, attacking the friends. As they fought for their lives, they noticed a small wooden box sitting in the center of the maze. Jake grabbed the box and opened it, revealing a small, glowing crystal inside. The crystal began to pulse with a bright light, and the monsters screeched in pain, retreating back into the mirrors. The friends realized that the crystal was a powerful artifact, capable of banishing the evil that had taken over the carnival. They used it to destroy the clowns and other creatures, and soon the carnival was back to its normal state. The friends were relieved to be free from the carnival's grip, but they knew that they had narrowly escaped with their lives. They left the carnival, vowing never to return again, and warned others to stay away from the creepy carnival. In a world where demons and other supernatural beings roam free, there exist those brave enough to hunt them down. One such person was a demon hunter, known only as Raven. She was feared by demons and respected by other hunters for her skills and determination. One day, Raven received a contract to hunt a demon that had been terrorizing a small town. The demon was said to be exceptionally powerful, and many hunters had tried and failed to capture it. Undeterred, Raven accepted the contract and traveled to the town. She began her investigation by talking to the locals and researching the demon's history. She discovered that the demon was known as the Devourer and had been around for centuries, feeding on the souls of the innocent. Raven knew that she had her work cut out for her, but she was determined to succeed. She spent several days tracking the demon's movements and gathering information. Finally, she discovered that the Devourer had taken up residence in an abandoned church on the outskirts of town. Raven knew that she had to act quickly. She prepared her weapons and set out to confront the demon. She arrived at the church just as the sun was setting and cautiously entered. The church was dark and silent, but Raven could feel the demon's presence. She moved slowly, trying to stay quiet and unnoticed. Suddenly, the Devourer appeared before her, a massive black demon with glowing red eyes. Raven wasted no time and attacked the demon with all her might. The Devourer was powerful, but Raven was faster and more skilled. They fought for what seemed like hours, and Raven was starting to tire. Just when she thought she had the upper hand, the Devourer unleashed a powerful blast of energy that sent Raven flying across the room. She hit the wall hard and crumpled to the ground. The demon loomed over her, ready to deliver the killing blow. But then something strange happened. Raven's eyes turned pitch black, and her body began to emit an eerie glow. The Devourer hesitated for a moment, confused by what was happening. But then Raven began to rise, her body levitating off the ground. She let out a piercing scream, and a blast of energy shot out from her body, striking the Devourer with incredible force. The demon was thrown back, its form writhing in pain. Raven continued to scream, her power growing stronger with each passing moment. The Devourer was no match for her, and it eventually dissipated into nothingness. Raven slowly descended to the ground, her eyes returning to normal. She was exhausted, but relieved. She had finally defeated the devourer, but something had changed in her. She knew that the power she had just unleashed was not entirely her own. Something else had taken control of her in that moment, something dark and powerful. Raven knew that she had to be more careful from now on. She couldn't let that darkness consume her, or she would become just like the demons she hunted. As she left the church and walked back to town, Raven knew that her life would never be the same. She was still a demon hunter, but now she had to battle the demons inside her as well as those in the world around her.